Defend your own judgment and not what other people say. Wisdom from the Bandamana Saga. A warning from the ancestors about groupthink, mob mentality. If you do not learn the wisdom of an expose and attempt to counter it with a whataboutism, you are guilty of this. We've all been seeing this since about 2021 now, haven't we, neighbor? Thought leader's a funny word now, isn't it? Sometimes they can make ideas a reality. Sometimes they can make them a nightmare. And that's why today we're going to go over the Heritage Foundation. Are your opinions your own? Let's find out. It's okay to have a misperception. A lot of people think the mandate for leadership began with the Reagan administration. Some are submitting completely different ideas. While it was called the Mandate for Leadership, it was a completely different thing. Brought to you by Reagan-era thought leaders at the Heritage Foundation, or the old school conservative. But there was a big change. You see, in 2021, the Heritage Foundation was having a bit of an identity crisis. They went through 3 presidents in 4 years, eventually landing on Kevin Roberts, their new head. He would have completely different ideas and take the foundation in a completely different direction. Did you have a choice in this? Do you feel divided within your own right-wing party? I can see it. Why can't you? Because thought leaders don't want you to. Many of the for-hire thought leaders found this jarring. 51 of their contributing fellows left, and you along for the ride like someone on an inner tube behind a boat. Drug along. Now then, let's go over Kevin Roberts. Yeehaw! A.K.A. the Cowboy Catholic.
We're in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless, if the left allows it to be.
And revolutionary, apparently. Not very old-school conservative, is it? Or is that how you view it, since it's changed since 2021 thanks to this man? Well, and the 73 new staff that he handpicked and brought on with him. For note, you will not find a lot on these 73 other than the articles they write. The Heritage Foundation has a strict policy of one mouthpiece. Due to this policy, I would say the whole foundation is a problem because those were their words by their own policy. Hey, were you aware that the Heritage Foundation was at and a key sponsor for the RNC? All the influence, resources, and respect of the Reagan-era Heritage Foundation was now at their disposal to use and exploit. Do a little rebranding. It should be really called the Mandate for Leadership 2.0, but they don't want you to know that. They're exploiting a little bit of that Reagan-era tenure. Who watches the Watchmen? Who influences think tanks? Who influences think tanks that influence you? I mean, they're hungry for knowledge. When you compare Viktor Orban's rise to power, along with his 14-year grip on his government, well, the picture starts to clear up a little bit. Now then, the Cowboy Catholic denies this, of course, but notice how he focused specifically on funding. It's what's not being said that's important. To quote his own mouth, it is a baseless attack on the Heritage Foundation, falsely insinuating that the Heritage is receiving funding and direction from the government of Hungary. 2021. I wonder how that happened. Carlson. This came about due to a Hungarian think tank. It's called the Danube Institute. Who needs money when you can exchange ideas? Once you have a grip on power, make all the money you want. You see, the World War II business model of making it all about race wasn't going to work. And Orban already had a working model. Give the appearance of a democratic system. Seize control of your courts. Imply cronyism. And hide all of your biases behind religion. Bring that one religion to dominance. Exclude all the things that you want to exclude from there. Now, ideas change from person to person. The scenarios are different, like Hungary has a prime minister, for example, and we do not. Since much of their news and media is funded by the Hungarian government, they can control who speaks and gets funding. Some things won't apply here in the USA, but basically control thought and opinion, like removing this app. I could go on and on about the similarities, but the blueprint is noticeable. It's undeniable, and we do not have a lot of time to act. The foundation has already been laid and the walls are going up from this blueprint. So remember, my fellow Americans, defend your own judgment and not what other people say, because before you know it, your own thoughts won't be yours to defend. No, this isn't the mandate for leadership. It's a twisted version of it. The thought leaders have led you to their thoughts and not your own. Just something to think about. And until next time, neighbors.